20 to red.
Have a good one, everybody.
Red in 5
seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Roll red, upright track red.
15 out of red. 10.
It's very stressful. You got to be zoned in. You have to be focused for 3 hours, 3-4 hours, whatever the game may be. If you go to air and it's not right or there's a mistake, millions of viewers see it. You don't get a chance to edit it. You get one shot. Everybody wants to put on a clean product, something without a mistake. A lot of times the viewer at home doesn't know what the mistakes are. They don't see them, they don't hear them, very rarely. Some you wonder if they even care, they just want to watch a game. We know what it takes to get on the air. I laugh because my father used to think it's a big voodoo box, watching TV, because all this stuff just comes out. It just spills out onto the air and he can watch it at home until he saw what it takes to put one of these on.
This is actually a very well-oiled machine. 8 fibers interconnect the two trucks and move over 3,500 signals on those 8 fibers. I think we probably have somewhere between 150 and 200 people credentialed for this weekend. That includes stage managers, statisticians, runners, camera guys, technical director, audio, utilities, cameramen. I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to it, everything that we're trying to do is all about telling a story and giving the producers and directors the tools that they need to tell that story. We want to give the viewer the best experience graphically, visually, orally, audio. Everything is all for the viewer.
If we see things happening other places, we cover it, show it, discuss it. It's instincts, it's reactions, and it happens really quick.
I'm the director of the show, so basically in charge of the visuals that you see for the most part. And basically I'm in charge of all the cameras during the course of the game. For a given game, I'll have 15 cameras on a given Sunday. Maybe we'll have, whatever it is, 13 tape machines.
The Fox TV trucks, they're 3 53-foot trucks, and they contain the entire show. And then we have another 53-foot truck that's just cable cam. We've done all 32 stadiums now in the 11 years we've been doing this, so it's gotten easier over the years. You can walk in and you know right where to go and right what to do, and we're pretty quick at it. The computer is controlled through the joysticks, just basic inputs. I have up and down, and then left and right, and forward and back. That signal goes through the computer. The computer takes it to our winch station where our motors are. We have 3 motors, X, Y, and Z. And if you remember your basic algebra from high school, we have what's called a Cartesian grid, and it flies in an XY pattern this way and a Z up and down pattern that way. And so I can control in any stadium. I know which way I'm going, left and right.
This is a basic joystick camera. There's a lot of them, a lot of remote controlled operated cameras. They're really all basically the same. You got your pan, your tilt, your zoom, focus. The only thing that makes this one different, and it's a big difference, is that this camera has a roll on it where I can control the horizon.
We can finish each other's sentences. It's like, hey, do that thing where okay. Shorthand language. I mean, when we get down toward the end zone, if they're gonna run into the end zone, he'll tell me to come up, give me some Z, and I'll come up a little bit to show him the play develop.
I'm Fox's lead technical director for NASCAR and the NFL. During the show, I punch the buttons, mix the video, switch the video. The director makes the decisions, but I physically make that happen. It's more of a monologue from Rich to us. That Rich is doing a lot of talking, and we're all listening as he's talking about ready 1, take 1, ready 2, take 2. That's letting the camera guy know that he's ready to take that camera. Settle down, you're about to go on the air, so that the camera guy doesn't swish pan or something like that. It also lets me know, be ready to take that camera. And a lot of times, that wants to happen right at a precise moment that he's trying to go from one thing to another. And so sometimes the cuts can be very precise.
I'm in charge of the live cameras, and so when Richie calls the replays that we're shooting the things that we need to be shooting, whether it's a quarterback reaction, whether it's a wide receiver isolation, whether it's a defensive player, whether it's a coach, whether it's a sideline reaction. One of the things we try to really push is all the subtleties, and I think we do a good job, but we're constantly pushing just the reaction shots on both sides of the ball.
Some of our greatest shots, honestly, are sitting on the bench where you've got a guy that's just cost his team the Super Bowl, and he's got this emotion on his face, and now you're sitting there locked on him, and we haven't moved, but there's no other camera in here that can get that because of the specific angle, or there's a coach in front of him or whatever. So some of the greatest stuff we've done is right there.
I'm actually an office guy. I'm director of engineering and technology for Fox Sports Remote Operations. So I oversee technical planning for large events, Super Bowl, World Cup, US Open Golf, but also specifically oversee technology initiatives such as 4K. The thing that always comes up is clarity of replay. We want to be able to see what's happening, see what's going on, and give the viewer at home the best possible image. 4K is essentially 10 times the amount of pixels of video information as regular 720p is. So we can zoom into an area and get a lot more detail, which is why we're using 4K. Another big initiative of Fox Sports is high frame rate cameras, for more frames per second, more images per second, which enable a clearer replay.
We can do things like zoom in, look at a guy's foot, and with a bunch of frames per second, you can see, okay, you know what, he was right there. Whereas before, that image might have been blurred, looking across a couple frames.
The technology is so good. The pictures are so good. The ability to play back replays is so fast.
We have 11 EVS machines. Most handle 4 inputs, 2 outputs. As soon as the play is over, barely before the guy stands up to go back to the huddle, he'll know which replay machine to go to. We sell directly to the producer. The producer may ask who has it, or a lot of times he knows who should have it, wants to see it from those angles. So selling is just getting to the producer, letting him know, I got the best look at this. This is the one you should go to air with. We're fortunate that our producer trusts us for the most part. If he hears our voice and he hears how intent we are, X, it's great on X, Y has the look, whatever, he'll go to it right away without even question. So.
I prefer the subtle, real things as opposed to the guy grandstanding for the camera. So the guys that have been with me for years know, don't sell me a reaction where a guy's self-servingly acting like an asshole. Show me the shots when they come to the bench and they don't realize cameras are on them, and there's a little wink, a little smile, a little tap on the helmet from a coach. Those are the shots I like to see. It's not just the quarterback celebrating after a touchdown, it's the defensive back with his head down. Like, holy Christ, what just happened?
Well, my name is Fred Aldis, and I am the audio consultant for Fox Sports and their senior mixer. I mix NFL for them, and I mix and designed all of the NASCAR coverage for them. During NFL, I want the viewer at home to be a part of the audience in the stands. And in a 5-1 show in the surrounds, I want them to feel like they're sitting in the crowd, so I put crowd 360 degrees around, my announcers in the center speaker, and then fill in the front, left, and rights with my effects mix, because that field of play never changes. So that's kind of being an observer of a game. On this console, I have 96 physical faders, and they are dual layer faders, so I have 192 inputs into this console that I can manage at any point in time. But while I'm sitting in here during a game, I listen to a director, a producer, an associate director, and I do my mix, and if there's something else going on, I have to deal and troubleshoot that. So I'm listening to anywhere from 5 to 8 things at one time, trying to juggle that many balls.
Anybody else have anything? How about Peyton? Is he pissed off?
It's hard to really listen to my mix to where I'd like to, but I've learned over the years what to listen for and how to listen for that. I do a lot of that by feel. I hear the director call a camera cut and I just automatically go to it. So at this point in my career, it has pretty much become reactive as far as some of the camera cuts and what I'm listening to and how I react to those. Sometimes I open different mics to make more sense with the picture versus the cameras that are close up.
If you're on the sidelines of a game, you hear things that people at home watching on TV never get to hear or experience. So we are walking a fine line between that audio and yet not giving away state secrets. Because believe it, coaches watch TV tapes now to pick anything they can up off what they hear from the line of scrimmage.
What our industry has done over the years is provided up close video and personal video. They want to hear the audio the same, and sometimes we can provide that, sometimes we can't.
I think from learning from people who did this job well is you let people do their jobs. I think on Sundays it all comes together with a balance of everything. You know, sounds, but let's not overdo it. You know, tight pictures, but let's not overdo it. X's and O's, but let's not overdo it. My job is to find the balance to bring everything together and make sure it all fits.
It's really neat because it's like working on a great team. You know, seeing everybody come together, and they all know their job, they know what they're doing, they're the best at what they do.
You know, broadcasting is similar to being on a team. Troy Aikman would say the same thing. You know, he might be the star of the team, but it takes a whole team to actually put the broadcast together. So we just spend the weekend all together. We have dinner together. We spend a lot of time together. And that's the best thing, spending time together as a broadcast team.
I mean, we've known each other for years, even before we got on this crew, a lot of us. And how to put things together, like I said, there's a hierarchy.
Have you done with his interview yet?
Not yet.
For a half hour per guy. When you cut that shit out.
Yeah, that'd be the boss. There are times I spend more time with these guys than I do with my family, because not only this, I go right into NASCAR, and that's 20-some weeks, and you're spending 4 days a week with them and only 2 at home.
I think most of us in this business enjoy doing what we do because we like it. We have fun doing it, and we'd hate to have a real job sitting behind a desk all day. And so,
When you hear that 3 count going into the open of the show, I'll tell you what, the rush is absolutely incredible, knowing there is no going back, there are no retakes, you have to do it right the first time, and it's a pretty big rush, and I still get that rush.
Live TV is the only kind of TV you want to be in. Now, there are people a lot more creative than I am who can sit in an edit room and create a show from scratch. And those people are really smart and really talented, but there's nothing like the adrenaline of being part of a live broadcast. You just don't know how it's going to go. You can talk to broadcasters, former athletes. You know, there's nothing like playing, but the closest thing you can get to playing or coaching is being in TV and covering an NFL game.
Great pictures. Richie Science, our producer, and our director, Rich Russo, and our technical director, Colby Bourgeois. Audio mixer, Freddie Aldis. Pride of Phoenix, Arizona.